Hello. Today I just want to go over this number line and this activity right here where we've got several points here. We want to plot them on a number line. So I want to walk that through with you so you're familiar with that. When I look at these points here, I see that I've got some negative points and some positive numbers here. These are all rational numbers because every one of these numbers can be written in a fraction form. And so on our positive side here, I got 3/5, 1 1/4, and 2. So the furthest to the right, the furthest we go is 2. And then on the left, as I move to the left of 0, my negatives are negative 1 1/4, negative 1.6. So I think I'm pretty safe if I start in the center with 0. So I'm going to put 0 in the center here. And then way up here is 2. So I'm going to go ahead and just put my 2 here, and then negative 2 is going to be there. I want to make sure I've got 2 and negative 2. Even though negative 2 is not one of the numbers, I still need it to help me place all of the other numbers. So the first step in this activity when you're placing these values is to set up your number line. Start with 0, put that somewhere, and then start putting your whole numbers somewhere. So I just started with 2. That'll tell me that 1 has to be halfway in here. So that'll be positive 1, and then as I go to the negative side, halfway between 0 and negative 2 that's my negative 1. So the next thing I want to do right here is to get all my whole numbers in place. So that makes it very easy to start breaking up those whole numbers into fractional parts. Now we can start looking at where we place our points here. So point A is negative 1 1/4. So if I am starting at 0 and I'm moving toward the negatives, I'm moving in this direction, I will pass negative 1, and somewhere between negative 1 and negative 2 is negative 1 1/4. Because we're dealing in fourths, I want to go ahead and split up this section here into fourths. So that will help me really see where negative 1 1/4 is. And so I can see that. Let me just put, how about a red dot? I'm going to make it red. And we're going to put it, here's negative 1. This is negative 1 1/4, negative 1 1/2, negative 1 3/4, and then negative 2 is right there. So we have got point A in place, and we do need to label point A. So I'm going to label it up here like this. Notice that the label is above the line and the point is on the line. So that's important. We don't want your point floating above the line. It should be right on the line just like that. All right, point B is 3/5. That is on the positive side, and that's somewhere between 0 and 1. So I want to break this section here into fifths. This is kind of hard. I don't want to split it in half, so I usually start in the middle, kind of move over a little bit, and then I'll break that and split that into 2 pieces and just kind of continue and try to make them evenly spaced. I've had a lot of practice, but it's hard to do that. So let's find 3/5. So here we're just counting 1/5, 2/5, 3/5. It should be a little over, a little past the halfway mark. And while it's not perfect here, it's not too bad. You know, it probably could move over a little bit, but there we go. So that's point B. So we'll label, put our B up here. And then negative 1.6. So there's a number of ways we could do this, but one thing I do want to show is if we have decimal numbers, we can change this decimal to a fraction. So a fraction, I'm trying to find a spot here. Let's find like a little white spot here. Let's do negative 1 6/10. So let's get our negative 1 right there. That's our whole number. We don't have to do anything with the whole number. 6/10 is 6 as a numerator and 10 as a denominator. So the place value is the denominator of the fraction. In this case, 6 is in the 10th place, 10 is the denominator. And we can simplify that to make negative 1 3/5. So here we've got our answer in fraction form, and it's pretty easy to see. But the problem is that is past, if I start at 0, that is past negative 1, somewhere between negative 1 and negative 2. And we have already split this into fourths, not fifths. So I will need to kind of maybe use a different color here, and maybe I'll make some marks under the line, but I need to split this into 5 sections. It's kind of hard because these marks are distracting me, but I will think, you know, I'm going to make a mark here. I'm going to split this into 5 sections. Mark here, and then 3/5 will be there, and 4/5 will be there. So I have these 5 sections. -1 1/5, -1 2/5, -1 3/5, -1 4/5, and then -2. So here we can see where our -1 3/5 is. 1, 2, 3. Notice that it is past the halfway mark. Just like 3/5 over here is past the halfway mark, -3/5 or -1 3/5 is past that halfway mark between -1 and -2. So we will mark point Q right here, and now it is asking us for the opposite. So point R is on its opposite, so I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side, on the positive side, between 1 and 2. I'm going to split it up into fifths. So I have to, here's my personal way of doing this. I find the middle, and then I kind of move over a little bit. And that's just kind of an easy, oh, that's a good mark right there. That's an easy way to do this. So here's 1/5, 2/5, 3/5 is beyond, the halfway mark is somewhere around here. So 3/5 is there, and then 4/5 is there, and we'll just make our mark and label it point R. So there's our R. And we have one more, two more actually. Z is at 2. Oh, that's hard. Let's find that. Where's 2 at? +2. All right. And there's Z. And then our X is at +1 1/4. And we kind of have the same problem right here. Here's +1, and we are moving from 0. We are moving past 1, somewhere between 1 and 2. So where is 1/4? Well, if we kind of figure, here's half, and then halfway between would be the 4th mark. So if I made marks, I would say, well, there's 1/4, and then 2/4 would be there, and then 3/4 would be somewhere like that. And so here's 1/4, and we will label that X right here. So here we have put all of our points in order, and just by breaking it into its fractional pieces. And that's it. All right, thank you very much for your attendance.